You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Ross the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, baby, we're going to talk about two transfer portal pickups by our North Carolina Tar Heels, man, over the last week. And we're going to work our way backwards, if you will, starting with the huge news of Andre Visar committing to North Carolina out of the transfer portal from the University of Arizona, man. And this is huge because we have had a void on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively, if you will. Just that guy, that true five that you can throw the ball down into the post. He can generate some good offense, and he's also a rim protector. And we saw last year that void on both sides of the ball for a vast majority of the season because we just weren't very big after Armando Bacot, ran out of eligibility, if you will. And we weren't able to land a true five in the portal. And it hurt Carolina a lot, man. It hurt Carolina a lot. And a lot of people talked about all manner of reasons why Carolina was unable to secure that big man. Maybe it was because of the type of offense that HD was attempting to play. Maybe it was because, he was trying to just stay out there in the perimeter, a 4-out, 5-out type approach. And, big guys didn't want to play in that kind of offense. And, there's some legitimacy to some of those concerns. However, I think we saw, especially towards the latter stages of the season, Vin Allen Lubin, being forced to play that five position, really working on that pick and roll game, man, and being a solid component to the offense just off the lobs. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to work with the one or the two, drive into the lane, and being able to, receive the ball and finish. But Vin Allen Lubin is 6'8", right? And although, he did a tremendous job towards the latter stages of the season, I think he was the second leading scorer, averaging over 14 points a game about the last quarter of the year. It was kind of like him and the RJ Davis show for all intents and purposes. This was huge. Carolina needed a true five, and I'm really, really sure that we stinking got him, man. Andre Visar is a legitimate 7-footer, 235 pounds. My man is from the nation of Estonia, and he is a redshirt sophomore going into his junior year, if I'm not mistaken, which means he should have 2 years of eligibility remaining. Now, in his class, he was a 4-star prospect, 97 overall grade according to 247 Sports. He was the 36th overall player in the country, or, coming out of high school, if you will. He was the 8th ranked center and the number 1 player in his nation. And in the transfer portal, he is the 19th overall rated player as a 4-star prospect, 95 overall grade. And he is rated as the 2nd best center in the portal. And one of the things that stands out with Henry's game is the fact that around the rim, he is going to finish. Obviously, the dude's 7 foot. Obviously, the dude has tremendous wingspan. But when I say, when he goes up, he attacks the stinking rim and he finishes. This is not, I'm just going up to stinking layup or throw it off the glass. No, he is a finisher. And I really think that Carolina has something if they can find that point guard to replace Elliot Cadeau in the pick and roll game with this guy, because all you have to do is throw that thing up, man, and my guy is going to come down, and he's going to come down stinking hard. And it's just great. It's great for Carolina to have that legitimate big man that we've had for so many years, right? We've had years, almost decades, if you will, of controlling the paint. And I'm really interested to see how Henry, kind of brings that back to Chapel Hill, man. And I think that there's an interesting component to him playing aside Vin Allen Lubin. You got the 7-footer, you got the, 6'8", maybe on a good day, 6'9", Vin Allen Lubin, who can also score. And so you have two competent players down low that can play some good basketball. And then you add on to the fact that Caleb Wilson will be in Chapel Hill next year. Now we kind of got a pretty formidable front court, if you will. Pretty formidable front court, man. So really impressed with HD and, our new GM getting this done, because having a 7-footer, that's aggressive and really attacks the rim it's a game changer, man. It really is a game changer. And I think that Tar Heel Nation should be excited, especially with, like I said, the way that Vin Allen finished the last season and the way, that Caleb Wilson is going to come in here and hopefully be the superstar that we think that he can possibly be. That means we got some pieces in the front court, man. Obviously, a lot of this is still predicated off of we've got to find a stinking point guard. But that's for another video. I don't know. Maybe we'll stink and talk about it later. Next, we're going to talk about Jonathan Powell, right? 6'6", 191-pound freshman from West Virginia. He averaged 8.3 points per game, 3.1 rebounds, and he shot 37.8% from the floor. I think he was second in the Big 12 and made threes by a freshman. And I think that this is a good piece player, if you will. I don't know if he's necessarily a one-for-one swap. When you're talking about replacing, hopefully Drake Powell doesn't leave. Hopefully Ian Jackson doesn't leave, but those are still kind of the question marks that we have. But, HD talked about the importance of getting bigger in the portal. You sign a 7-footer, you sign another 6'6", 6'7" kid on the wing, and I think that you're starting to accomplish said task, man. Like I said, 6'6", 191 pounds from Dayton, Ohio, and he played 1 year at West Virginia. And the thing that I noticed about Jonathan Powell is maybe he is going to basically take the spot of what we thought Cade Tyson would be, the kid from Belmont, because that didn't come to fruition the way that we thought it would. We thought that Cade would be the guy that could kind of sit there in the corner, spot up, knock down some threes. He was a taller guy, etc., etc. I think Jonathan Powell, we've seen him play against big-time competition. He's played in the Big 12, so he's played Kansas. He's played Arizona. He's played a lot of these schools, so he is no new kid to competition, legitimate Division I, NCAA tournament type competition, right? The kid has played against that. Now, I do think that he's more of a spot-up shooter, right? And I don't think that that's news to anybody. If you watch his game, he's a catch-and-shoot guy. Not really somebody that's going to put the ball on the floor, get to the bucket. Right now, his game does not necessarily consist of somebody who's going to get to the front. So that is something to take into consideration, right? Because we all like guys that can get to the rim, they can finish, they can get to the free throw line. I think he took like maybe 25 free throws his entire for a kid who averaged 30 minutes a game, right? So this is not someone who didn't get a ton of burn. Jonathan Powell played a ton, and I think this is a really good pickup though for the Heels. And I don't know what that means about Ian Jackson or Drake Powell returning. I don't even know if Coach HD necessarily knows at this point right now. But we got a guy that can absolutely stink and shoot the rock, man. And I think that that is important in and of itself. He was 35.2% from three last year. Now, like I said, he was only a 48% free throw shooter, which is pretty stinking crazy, because you would think guys that, have a really good looking shot and everything. But like I said, he didn't get to the free throw line a lot. So maybe that's just not his game. But 30 minutes a game, 37.8%, 35.2% from three, and he averaged 8.3 points per game. So I think that these are two really solid pickups. Obviously, I think the one that everybody's going to be extremely excited about is Henry coming to North Carolina. It's something that we desperately needed. Once again, I think Jonathan Powell has a chance to be a really good contributor to this basketball team. But Carolina has got to find a stinking point guard to run this offense. Do we think that we have that in the combo guards that are coming in? That remains to be seen. But, hopefully HD and Mr. Tanner are not done in the transfer portal as of yet. Hey, man, shout out to the Huddle Hooligans, man. We still been chopping it up, dude. Life has been coming at me, and I've been handling. I appreciate you guys' patience and everything. Love you guys, and I miss you guys. But I definitely thought that it was a good time to jump in here real quick, man, and make a video about these two really solid pickups from Hubert Davis and Mr. Tanner for our North Carolina Tar Heels. So, obviously, I am genuinely interested in what my boys in Tar Heel Nation think. So, drop that down in the comment section if you will. Let's chop it up a little bit, talking about, basketball season after basketball season. If you haven't already, do me a favor, man. Like, share, and subscribe to the daggum channel. It is a great day to be a Tar Heel, and we will catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.